Yeah, hi. So my name is Jesse, and this is our presentation on traffic. So, having lived in Colorado for a few years now, I've developed a slight obsession for skiing. I find skiing to be a great outlet that combines many hobbies. It keeps me active, it's physically demanding, and it immerses me in the outdoor beauty and nature of, whatever Colorado has to offer. So I can go on and on about the passion I have for skiing and, how much I love the sport. However, this isn't really what this presentation's about. Uh, it's about arguably the worst part of the day on the slopes, sitting, wasting time in hours of traffic while commuting to and from the mountain. Yeah, so the issue of road traffic is one that stretches far beyond the realm of mountain traffic. Probably the most prevalent place where we see it is traffic in major cities around the world. But for the purpose of this presentation, we just decided to focus on cities only in the United States. Regardless, there is a big problem here occurring right now as we speak. Millions of people are stuck on a highway, wasting their valuable time. So let's get into some statistics. In 2021, approximately 67% of people commuted to work alone. The following year, in 2022, Americans lost about 51 hours yearly to road congestion on average. That's about an hour a week. So, what actually causes traffic? The top causes of traffic are accidents, weather, construction zones, saturation, distracted driving, and distracted driving. According to an article from NPR, car accidents are the leading cause of traffic, making up for 25% of all traffic jams and road congestion. The U.S. Department of Transportation predicts that the average driving speed typically decreases from 3 to 16% during heavy rain, and heavy snow can also decrease speeds from 5 to 40%. So, where is this problem actually happening? Well, it's most prevalent in big cities, such as New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, LA. Those are all among the top 10 cities and highest average time spent in traffic. New York, it actually takes people an average of 24 minutes and 50 seconds to drive about 6 miles in 2023, ranking the highest among any US city. And we'll come back to that stat later on, or that same measure later on. But so after identifying the problem and running a decision matrix, which we'll talk about a little later on, we narrowed our list down to a few ideas that we deemed to be our best ones. The solution we eventually ended up coming to is implementing more accessible and reliable public transportation systems. The evidence that a public transportation system can be reliable and effective in an urban setting is all around us. If implemented strategically, reliable public transportation is one of the most feasible current options to reduce road congestion. Let's look at a few examples and stories, um, such as the public transportation system implemented in Zurich, Switzerland, which is known for having a great reputation when it comes to efficiency, affordability, accessibility, and accessibility, as most of its stations are placed within walking distance of the general public. The city greatly benefits from Switzerland's superb rail networks, as their average time to travel 6 miles is 13 minutes, which is almost half of New York's 24 minutes and 50 seconds. An article from mochief.com notes that road congestion in Switzerland is not considered a major issue among the people living in Zurich. So let's look at the ideation process. So now we're going to kind of cover how we came to this decision. So yeah, we had three scoring categories, as you can see: cost, feasibility, and effectiveness. We assigned each category a score from 1 to 10, and then we summed up the scores and chose the highest scoring solution. We crossed off adding carpool lanes and public transportation lanes, as we thought the effectiveness of these solutions were low. We also eliminated implementing speed trackers in cars, underground roads, and adding more routes, as the cost of these solutions weren't very feasible. Then we eliminated requiring more extensive license certifications, adding road signs to alert against heavy traffic, and AI assisted congestion guides due to their low effectiveness. Autonomous vehicles were eliminated due to their high costs and low feasibility, and rideshare was eliminated due to its low effectiveness. Finally, heated roads were eliminated due to their high cost and low feasibility, and everyone following the rules of the road was eliminated due to its, well, as we could see, extremely low feasibility. We settled on accessible and reliable public transportation as our solution. And we ended up, yeah, as we ended up settling on that as our solution. Also, the cost is relatively high. Um, and although the cost is relatively high for this, it is feasible and effective as exemplified in many other countries, such as Switzerland, and a lot of other, Eastern or sorry, Western European and Northern European countries have very good public transportation systems that we are able to look at. So the cost of this, what's it going to cost? To estimate this, um, we decided to research Zurich's public transportation plan due to its effectiveness. Um, as we said before, Zurich, Switzerland is among the highest rated public transportation systems in the world. Their project began in around the 1980s to address the concern of Zurich's growing population. They were around 555,000 people living in the city and over 1 million in the ubiquitous urban area. And these numbers are quite similar to Denver's actually, as Denver has, I think roughly 700,000 in the city and maybe like 2 million in the ubiquitous area. I'm not certain on that, but anyway, this plan consists of extensive light railways running above the ground in Zurich. And the project was estimated to cost about 544 million Swiss francs, I believe it's pronounced, which is equivalent to around 600 million US dollars. And although the project was expensive, uh, it completely eliminated, or well, not completely, but for the most part, eliminated Zurich's traffic issue with the rising population. Um, so um, let's talk about feasibility. So building and maintaining a public transportation system requires significant initial investment and ongoing funding. This includes construction stations, laying tracks down, purchasing vehicles, and doing anything you need to do to get it to operate. This also, you know, uh, would require a lot of urban planning, which is like designing a public transportation network, coordinating with existing infrastructures that are already in place, such as like, the light rail, or like the highway systems here. This would include, technological advancements on either the current system or putting a new system in place. So that would look like advancements in transportation technology, such as, electric buses or autonomous like trains or smart transit, some of these kind of examples. And then also we would need public support and policy. So, there would be a little bit of political kind of support that we would need to have for this, as the government would need to see this as a feasible and effective way that would uh, eliminate or help reduce the traffic in the city. And then lastly, effectiveness. So accessible and reliable public transportation can you know kind of reduce road congestion, as we said, by providing the commuters with a viable option to or as an alternative to a private vehicle. And this can result in smoother traffic flow, reduce travel times, lower levels of air pollution, all that good stuff. As for the improved accessibility, public transportation enhances accessibility for individuals who may not have access to private vehicles. That could be like, elderly people or people living with disabilities and, individuals in lower income neighborhoods or households. And there are also a lot of environmental benefits from this, as public transportation typically produces fewer greenhouse gases emissions compared to like individual cars and individual vehicles in general that use gas. Um, and yeah, so by promoting this, we can work to, lower the greenhouse gas emissions and, overall lower everybody's individual and collective carbon footprint as a city. It's economically efficient. So public transportation can contribute to economic efficiency by reducing the overall cost of transportation for individuals and businesses. It can also, um, help promote economic development by increasing property values near the houses or like areas where public transport is easily accessible. And then, yeah, so those are a few of the reasons on why it would be effective. And yeah, so lastly, what is our actual plan? So since it was around $600 million in Zurich, Switzerland for a population around 500,000, similar to Denver, we chose to start in a smaller city, like Denver. And after doing some math, we estimated that it would be around $1 billion, maybe a little less, to implement this system in Denver, as Denver's population is about 1.5 times as much as Zurich, Switzerland's. Um, so this would be like our kind of starting budget, and we understand that's a lot of money, but we kind of want to be the frontier for this new system to be put in place. Um, yeah. So lastly, what are my thoughts on this sprint as a whole? So I thought this was a really, really awesome experience to have. How has it changed my thoughts around innovation? Well, I think that one of the main things I took away from this class is that, getting our creativity back that we learned about is kind of taken away from us as we grow up is seems to be one of the gateways into innovation. And, it's also taught me that, like, as an entrepreneur who I was like one day wants his own company or business, it showed me that a healthy balance between the people you hire that have a convergent way of thinking and divergent way of thinking is needed in a startup company. Obviously you need the people who see anything as possible, and then you need those kind of more black and white people who are going to be like, okay, well, how are we going to do this? So it's taught me the importance of, finding um, kind of a combination of those people, either within one individual or within a group of people. I think the key lessons that I'll take away from this class is I'm going to continue to involve myself in activities, hobbies, and, work environments that continue to, kind of like uh, push these boundaries of my creativity. And yeah, just kind of immerse myself in that environment. So there naturally, I become and stay a creative person. I believe the content of this course will help me in my future because I know that eventually I'm gonna want a job and something that involves me using my creativity. Um, and yeah, honestly, just like with like the week or two after this class, I've been able to eliminate a lot of jobs that I don't want to do because, they don't include this, very important aspect that I'm looking for in a job, which is being able to use my creativity. So I think that's how it's going to help me, kind of down the road in my career, future, and just my life in general. So, yep. That's about all I have. Thank you. This was a great course, and I enjoyed taking it a lot.